Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and in today's video, we're going to be going over the top 15 best cars in 2026 that you could buy for less than $9,000. This is part 9 of our 1K to 100K series, where we're going to be doing 15 cars under every price range. We started with 1K, then 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now today, obviously, we're going to be doing the 15 best cars under $9,000, and after that, it'll be 10, then 15, 20, 25, 50, and then $100,000. And the whole gimmick amongst this series is that in every one of these videos, no matter what, there will be 0 duplicates whatsoever. So if you watch all the videos, you get a bunch of different options of cheap cars under whatever price range it is that you have. That way, it's not just like a bunch of different lists of me talking about the 350Z because of how much I love the 350Z. All right, but yeah, today is the 15 best cars under $9,000. Media of the day is Game of Thrones. It's a TV show, also a book though, but the TV show is the only one I watched, and it is my favorite TV show ever created. I love Game of Thrones. I highly recommend it to anybody who is looking for a TV show. It really is as good as people say it is. Easily my favorite TV show I ever watched, hands down. I've watched it 3 times now, and I'm fiending to watch it a 4th time. I love that show. Go watch it if you haven't already. But without further ado, let's go right into it with the top 15 best cars that you can buy for less than 9K in 2026. Coming in at the number 15 spot is easily one of the coolest looking cars on today's list, hands down, but unfortunately it just has so many reliability issues, and so for under $9,000 it's really just going to be a sketchy purchase, to say the least. The Jaguar XKR first generation, they're sick, plain and simple. I remember back in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, man, I used to love these cars, and the fact that they're as cheap as they are is awesome. But they come with a 4-liter V8 making 370 horsepower going to the rear wheels, which is plain and simply just sports car territory, especially during its time. This was even close to supercar territory, you can make an argument. But why is it so cheap? Well, they're ticking time bombs. Yeah, they are horribly unreliable, extremely unreliable. This is a car where I wouldn't even recommend it as your second car. This is a car where if you're looking for a car to 9K to have as a fun project that's a little bit unique as your third car, this is the one I would buy. But 14th is literally the complete opposite of the Jaguar XKR. It's not the coolest looking car out there, not the most fun big sports car out there, but it's one of the most reliable cars on this list, and it's an incredible first car or only car that you're going to have. The Toyota Tacoma 2nd generation. I was looking at 3rd gen, not 2nd gens, but 3rd gen Tacomas for potentially buying for my next vehicle. They're that good. They come with a 4-liter V6 making 236 horsepower, and they are of course 4x4s. They're also obviously a truck, so they're extremely practical. They can go off-road, they can go wherever you need it to be. In the wintertime, it's going to be perfectly fine, and on top of all that, it's a gosh darn Toyota Tacoma, so it's reliable as hell. In terms of practicality alone, this one deserves first place on this list, obviously, but again, it's obviously not the coolest. It's a truck at the end of the day. You're not going to be racing M4s on the highway with this thing. You know what could beat M4s on the highway though very easily? 13th place, the Chevy Nova 3rd generation. The fact that these cars are as cheap as they are is something I only found out a couple weeks ago, and now I can't stop thinking about. I've always loved the 3rd gen Chevy Novas. I think they're one of the coolest muscle cars ever created, hands down, and the fact that they're one of the only muscle cars left that are affordable is mind-blowing. They come with a 5.7-liter V8 making 295 horsepower, and they are rear-wheel drive. Now that horsepower number does change drastically depending on what year you get and which trim you get, but obviously you're not going to be able to get the big SS 169s, perfect ones, for under 9K. You're going to have a little bit of a project on your hands, but nonetheless, it's a classic 60s muscle car. In terms of aura purposes, this car, again, deserves first place on this list, man. It is such a freaking cool car, but I mean, a 60s muscle car in the big 2.6, it's obviously not the most practical. Speaking of cars that might not be the most practical, coming in at 12th place is going to be going to the BMW 650i E63. The E63 BMW 6 Series gets a lot of hate, and still to this day, for its looks. And don't get me wrong, I agree that I don't think it's the best looking car, but I've seen some modified ones now, and I'm starting to come around to them a little bit. The back end still looks like a weird, beluga whale, but the rest of the car is okay. The car comes with a 4.8-liter V8 making 360 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. Now, it is worth mentioning, this car does suffer the same problems that the XKR suffers, where it's just kind of unreliable as hell. It's very fast and one of the most luxurious, nicest, interior cars on this list, hands down. But obviously that comes with a price, and that price being its reliability. It's just kind of sketchy. It's kind of a ticking time bomb. Better than the XKR, but still scary. And coming in at 11th place, yeah, sticking to the cars that are really cool when they're running, and if you're, if you know how to maintain them correctly, but just really scary to buy. 11th place is the Mazda RX-7 FB, the first generation of the RX-7. You guys know how much I love the FD RX-7. It's my dream JDM car, hands down. I love that car so much. And the FB is still pretty cool. It's a little bit slower, obviously. It comes with a 1.2 liter two-rotor rotary engine, making 100 horsepower on the dot, and it is rear-wheel drive. Yeah, 100 horsepower is just not anything. Even in a car as light as this, it's not good, obviously. These cars are extremely lightweight, but 100 horsepower is nothing. And it does have that rotary engine, which is obviously a little bit sketchy to buy, especially as old as these cars are now. They were built in the 80s, man. Like, these things are, they're old, you know, and so they're going to have some problems. But honestly, again, third car, if you're looking for something for like a cool little chassis for like an engine swap, I think the FB RX-7 is kind of underrated for it. They're so lightweight and probably so much fun to drive. However, coming in at 10th place, we keep going like back and forth. We go from like a really reliable, decent option to a car that's not as reliable, but really cool. 10th place is the Ford Taurus SHO. Very reliable, very cool, like decent option for just buying on to drive on the streets, but it might not be the coolest looking car out there. Might not get might not collect the most necks, as they say. The car comes with a 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6, making 365 horsepower, and it is all-wheel drive. Plain and simple, the package that this car is given is insane. Twin turbo V6 making 365 horsepower, going to all four corners. I mean, that's that's incredible. So why is it all the way down here at 10th place instead of higher on the list? It's a Taurus SHO, man. The cops use this. No matter how much people try and argue it, it'll never be cool because of that reason alone. But coming in at 9th place, you gotta make the truck boys happy, all right? You gotta give them what they want. So 9th place is the Dodge Ram 1500 4th generation. My buddy Dylan, shout out Dylan, has this truck actually, and he loves it. I think they're very nice looking trucks as well. Oh, also my buddy Damien had one of these as well. A lot of people I know have the 4th gen Rams, and they have done them great service. They come with a 4.7 liter V8, making 310 horsepower, and it is 4x4. Now they do also come with like the 5.7 Hemi V8s and stuff, but those are going to be more expensive, obviously. So I think it's just more realistic and smart to buy this one, as long as you aren't planning on towing a bunch of stuff. But nonetheless, yeah, it's pretty much the same thing as the Tacoma, except I think it's a little bit cooler, and it's a full-size truck now with a V8. It's going to be a little bit better at towing things as well. I like the Rams. I've heard some things online of people saying, oh my god, the transmissions on these trucks are horrible, but they say that for every truck, so I never know what to believe. However, coming in at 8th place, not yesterday's video. Yesterday we took off because I was trying to, dude, I've been trying to buy a car recently, but I never have any time because I'm always making YouTube videos and stuff like that. So yesterday I took the day off to specifically just go and look at buying a car and just spend all day looking at cars and stuff like that. So I didn't upload yesterday, but 2 days ago we did a whole video on how to build this car, the Ford Focus ST. These things come with a 2.2 liter turbocharged inline 4, making 252 horsepower, lots of twos there, and it is front wheel drive. It's also obviously a hatchback, so the practicality is there. It's pretty decently reliable. It's also a little bit of a tuner here, man. You can get some insane horsepower out of Focus STs with nothing but some simple bolt-ons and tune. They're pretty fun little cars, man. I can't complain. But they are front-wheel drive, and they are, at the end of the day, just a hatchback. I've never been the biggest fan of hatchbacks, as you guys know, but they are a pretty cool one. You got to give them credit where credit is due, and they're getting cheaper by the day. 7th place, however, is not getting cheaper by the day. As a matter of fact, 7th place is kind of getting more expensive by the day, because coming in at 7th place is going to be going to the Mazda Speed 6. The Mazda Speed 6. Such a cool car. My buddy Dom had one all the way back when we were in high school, back when they were actually like really affordable. Now they're just getting a little bit more expensive, and it was such a fun little car, man. And they look really nice. I think they're underrated, to be honest. They come with a 2.3 liter turbocharged inline 4, making 263 horsepower, and it is all-wheel drive. If that horsepower number and engine sounds similar, that's because it's the exact same engine with the exact same horsepower and same transmission that they put in the Mazda Speed 3s. And Mazda Speed 3s are obviously very popular cars. These are lighter weight with the all-wheel drive system, and they're a sedan. I think they actually look better. The Mazda Speed 6s are awesome, plain and simply awesome cars over and over again, but they are getting to the point where they're becoming a little bit more expensive and becoming hard to find. But coming in at 6th place, I could not believe that I had not done this car yet in any of these cheap car videos. The Hyundai Genesis Coupe, specifically the BK2, because with a budget of 9K, you could easily find a BK2, and they're just kind of better than the BK ones. No offense to my BK1 owners out there, but they kind of are. But yeah, I was like looking at my other lists that I've made for this series so far, and we haven't mentioned the Hyundai Genesis Coupe yet, which is insane on a Mark Roden list. They come with a 3.8 liter V6, making 348 horsepower, and they are rear-wheel drive. Very good horsepower numbers. They're rear-wheel drive, which is going to be fun as hell. They are really cool looking cars. They're coupes. They do have a pretty big downside though, and that is of course the reliability and the power potential of these cars. You kind of, yeah, you have 348 horsepower out of the factory, but that's about all you get. It's something like a 4G Eclipse situation where it's like, it's a pretty cool little fun sports car stock, but you better have fun with it when it's stock, because that's pretty much all you're going to be able to do with it. But really cool car. Coming in at 5th place, on the other hand, people do not like how these cars look, and I will be the first to admit I also kind of don't like how they look. I think they look a little bit weird, but for the price that they are, I think they are a really good bargain, like sports car. The Toyota MR2 Spyder, I don't know what that noise was, something just fell down the stairs here. The newest MR2s, though, the ones that the most previous ones, the most current ones, they come with a 1.8 liter inline 4, making 138 horsepower, and they are rear-wheel drive. Now the horsepower number is not great, but obviously it is an MR2, so it's extremely lightweight. It is also mid-engine, and it's going to be a little bit harder to handle, obviously, with a snap oversteer situation. Now they did fix it as much as they could with the MR2 Spyder generation here, but still is going to be a little bit of a problem. Nonetheless, these cars are very reliable, very fun little sports cars, mid-engine car for under $9,000. You can't really beat it. Yes, the looks are a little bit wonky, I'll be the first to admit, but it's kind of cool. Also, did you guys hear that they might be making a new MR2? Kind of excited to see what they do with that. Coming in at 4th place, though, this car just keeps lowering and lowering in price, and it's making me more and more happy every single day that it does. The Subaru BRZ ZN6. Yeah, they made a ton of people bought BRZs when they first came out. I mean, everyone was buying these things left, right, and center because they were like the new age tuner car. And so now there's a ton of them out there, and every day they just get cheaper and cheaper, and they're becoming affordable tuner cars, which is awesome. They come with a 2-liter flat 4, making 200 horsepower on the dot, and they are rear-wheel drive. They're a really, really fun package. I mean, these cars are like, they have this weird reputation behind them where some people hate on them for only having 200 horsepower, but then they'll be the exact same people that go and praise the Miata for being a fun little go-kart, even though the BRZ's whole thing is that it's supposed to be extremely lightweight with low horsepower. It's a slow car fast situation, you know what I mean? It's fun to drive this car fast because of how slow it is, but it handles like an absolute dream and looks absolutely incredible. In my opinion, one of the best looking modern JDM cars, easily. Such a cool car for under $9,000. But for under 9K, you do have to be very patient, and you might get one with higher mileage. And we gotta, we gotta make our overland boys happy. I feel like I've never talked about this car, which is a crime because I really like them. Every time I see them in person, I'm always like, wow, that's a cool looking vehicle. The Toyota FJ Cruiser. The FJ Cruisers, man, they're sick. They're sick cars. My sister used to love these things. I don't know what happened. She just stopped talking about it. But back in the day, she used to love them. They were awesome cars. They come with a 4-liter V6, making 239 horsepower, and they are 4x4s. If I'm not mistaken, this is the same motor they were putting in the Tacomas and the 4Runners at the time, so it's reliable as hell. It's proven itself time and time again. Just in a really cool body that's even better at off-road capabilities and stuff like that than oh my god, I'm stumbling on my words, than the Tacoma and the 4Runner is. The FJ Cruiser is awesome. For under 9K, it actually, I'm not kidding, I kind of want to buy one. They're just so cool. I don't know why, I like them a lot. However, coming in at 2nd place, you guys know how much of a Honda fanboy at heart your boy Mark Roden is, because 2nd place is going to be going to the Honda Accord Coupe 9th generation. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it really is, like, when you talk about cheap cars, no matter what price range you have, it really is just hard to beat Hondas, man. They always have at least one option for you out there. Like, there's always one option that's just going to be freaking great. The car comes with a 3.5-liter V6, making 278 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. You can also get it with a 4-banger, and I believe that 4-banger is a K-series as well, so it's worth mentioning that if you plan on going the tuning route. But if you don't and you just want to have fun out of the gate, I do recommend the V6 over that. That's also not to say that the V6 can't make power. The V6 absolutely could make power as well if you wanted to, but it makes 278 from factory. It's obviously a little bit like heavier than like the Civic, obviously that's the whole point of the Accord, but they're freaking cool looking cars. The Coupes make them look really aggressive with the V6 and the 6-speed manual transmission. Yes, it's front wheel drive, which is kind of the only downside, but that's literally it. Everything else about the car is a really good option for under 9K. But 1st place, in my opinion, the best car under $9,000 in 2026 right now is going to be going to the Audi S4 B8. The S4 B8s are just, in my opinion, it's very, very hard to beat these things. The fact that they're even under 9K in the first place is kind of mind-blowing right now. They're still relatively new cars, and they come with a 3-liter supercharged V6, making 333 horsepower, going to all 4 corners. Obviously, quattro all-wheel drive. It's an Audi. Yeah, you already know who's going to go there. But, I mean, that's a decent amount of horsepower. They're pretty lightweight cars. They have, like, one of the best all-wheel drive systems in the world. They look really good. They're German engineering, so it's built to high quality, and the interior is going to feel nice and modern and comfortable and luxurious, while also being just a really nice handling car and looking really good with a ton of aftermarket support. If you want to make the car faster, you absolutely could do it, while also being a very, very reliable car, too. For an S4, this is one of the most reliable S4s out there, if not the most reliable S4. Yes, it's still an Audi, so you still have to be a little bit skeptical about it, even especially when you have to work on it. It's not going to be the most fun thing out there to work on, but besides that, I mean, there's really no downsides to these things, man. They're freaking awesome budget options for under 9K. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video on the top 15 best cars that you could buy for less than $9,000 in the big 2.6. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what reviews I see in the comment section down below. Check the links in the description for any of my other social medias or any of my other YouTube channels or any of that great mumbo jumbo. And thank you guys so much for watching. We are nailing the outros recently, man. We've been locked in on the outros. It's just like implanted in my brain now on how to do the outros the correct way. But nonetheless, yeah. Tomorrow's video is, well, actually no, we're not opening tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday. We take Saturdays off on the old Mark Roden channel. On all my channels, I take Saturdays off. But on Sunday's video, we will be doing the how to build the Acura RSX. That is the next how to build video, is how to build the Acura RSX. And then on Monday, obviously, we will be doing the under $10,000 price range video for the 1K to 100K series. And then after that, I don't exactly know what car we're going to be building next on the next how to build. I got a recommendation the other day, and I was going to do it. But now I'm forgetting what it was. That's how I am, man. I get a lot of recommendations on cars that you guys would like to see me do the how to build videos on, and then I just forget what it was when I shouldn't, obviously. So I can't tell you right now off the top of my head what the next how to build video would be after the RSX. But yeah, the RSX is next. I guess that's all you need to know. Maybe it was a. No, I was gonna say maybe I thought it was a 9th gen Civic, but I don't think it is a 9th gen Civic actually. I couldn't tell you. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. But either way, that is the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.